Anthem servers are being shut down soon. In fact, they've even delisted the game already from digital storefronts, making it exclusive to EA Play. Good thing I saw this coming 2 years ago and bought a physical copy for $8. So for those of you who don't know, Anthem released in 2019 and is already being shut down permanently. And yeah, it's one of those games, which means you literally will not be able to play it once the servers shut down.
Oh my god! Oh jeez!
Anyway, today I'm getting all 47 trophies Anthem has to offer before they become impossible. And I'm also now realizing, over half of my videos at this point are getting dead platinums, so subscribe for more of those. Upon opening the game, I immediately have to sign my life over to EA, but after that, we get thrown into it, and I'ma be honest, I had no idea what was happening here plot-wise. Anyway, after finishing the first mission, which was really just a tutorial, we get our first trophy. This was also where you create your character and name, so yeah, salute to any of the pilots that saw me out there. With our first mission done, we get introduced to the main hub area, where we can customize our loadout, select our missions, and talk to NPCs, which grants us faction XP that we will need for some trophies later. We also get introduced to the voice in our ear from the first mission, Owen, who I actually found quite likable. Our next mission doesn't get us any trophies, but we do get to fly around some more, which was actually really fun. Crazy how they did Iron Man better than Marvel Avengers.
Jarvis, scan this guy's balls.
Anyway, even without a story trophy, we're still making progress towards other ones. There's 4 javelins in this game, each with their own trophy for completing every level 1 gear challenge, which just means we have to use each piece of gear in 4 missions each. However, this also means we have to get the gear, which is a whole different story with these RNG loot drops. On top of these gear trophies, we also need 50 kills with each unique gun, which actually isn't as bad as it seems as long as you can get the guns to drop. With both of those trophy objectives in mind, we spend the rest of the game cycling our loot to slowly progress all of these. This is where the game starts to open up for us. Our hub is expanded, and we have access to both free roam and some side quests, which, for the most part, I did as they popped up. While our last mission didn't grant a trophy, this next one does. The government sends a baddie to hire us, knowing we're not saying no to her. And they send us to deal with some Dominion troops, who I guess are like the main bad guys of this game, led by this cool-ass dude called the Monitor. Anyway, after he Palpatines the person we came to save, we fight off his goons and get our next silver. I also opened up the shop for the first time, and saw some legendary gear and guns for only 2,000 coins, and buying these was a game changer. It's literally post-game loot, so every mission from here on out that I used them in was crazy easy. After equipping the guns, I started my next mission, and immediately got kicked out of the game from a server error. Great job, game. Just great. Anyway, logging back in, this mission has us reuniting with our old friends from the intro, because the government baddie says they have intel on how to defeat the Monitor before he ends the world, I guess? I don't really know what his motives are, aside from being evil.
Feels like you still have a little bit of animosity there.
I'm evil.
Halleck and Faye, our old friends, are currently rolling with a gang that's as greedy as current-day Nintendo, so we need to get them a bunch of gifts to even be granted an audience. And once we finally get inside, the club just gets shot up. And after defending ourselves, we get another story trophy. Right after that, we actually get our next one for finishing a mission with an uncommon javelin rating, which is just your gear score. So here's that pop too. Continuing with side quests, we save this guy named Matthias, and he asks us to help him track down and obtain this ancient tome called the Elysian Manuscript. And upon obtaining it, the mission ends, popping us a trophy. So there's 3 main characters in your hub area that will give you side missions, and after getting the first trophy from Matthias, I moved on to Yarrow, who pretty much just gets us to collect body cam footage from dead freelancers outside the fort so that they can be remembered. And while doing these missions, I actually got my 50th kill on the final shotgun. Then I wrapped up the questline for another bronze. Heading over to our third side quest giver, Grin, she's awkward as fuck.
Good to see you again.
Is it?
Isn't it?
I don't associate much with freelancers.
We get sent out to stop the Scars, who are combining their tech with Shaper relics. Whatever those are. And after 3 missions revolving around that, I not only got another side quest trophy, but managed to get my 50th kill on the final machine pistol, assault rifle, heavy pistol, marksman rifle, and LMG. That's 6 of the 9 weapon trophies already, but for the last 3, I'd need to farm a few more loot drops. So I just continued with the story. After teaming up with my old friends, they say we need to enter the Heart of Rage, but the only way to survive it is to use this dead general's armor. And to find out its location, we need to visit 4 tombs in free play mode. Should be easy enough. Until you reach the first one and it tells you to complete challenges to open the door. Most of these were pretty easy and I could farm out in 5 minutes, but one of them required me to revive someone who's down. So I messaged this guy in my lobby and he clutched up. What a hero. Shout out to Traver1012. After getting the General's tomb location, we fly over there and have another meeting with the Monitor, where he tries to get us on his side, but our character feels so badass he just
Get glitched.
Anyway, after escaping his ambush, we net our next story trophy. The General's tomb we visited gave us the key we needed for the General's javelin, so in the next mission, we go and get it. After playing through 3 hallucination phases as tests to prove if we're worthy, Owen comes out of nowhere to betray us.
They can't hear you.
Owen!
Oh dear. Javelin not working, huh? That's a shame.
He steals the General's javelin and goes to team up with the people trying to murder everyone. Yeah, this doesn't end up well for him. Who would have thought? Anyway, a story trophy pops right after he betrays us. Back in Fort Tarsus, I did a couple more conversations, and for literally no reason, we started gaslighting this senile old lady into thinking we were her dead son.
Hi there, Mom.
Sorry. Feeling a little tired today.
I'm sorry you went through all that, Mom, but I'm here now. It's good to be back.
Why did we do this? A couple more side quests also popped up, so I decided to start with the Matthias questline. And with the help of the tome we got him earlier, he's located a relic he calls the Manifold, and sends us to get it for him. Upon giving it back to him, he slams that shit down and it multiplies him. Well, actually divides him. Anyway, after completing his 3 missions, we get his second side quest trophy. Looking at the trophy list, I realized I only had 2 story trophies left, so I figured I'd just bang them out now and finish the story. Since Owen took the javelin we needed to enter the Heart of Rage, we decided to just copy its specs onto my javelin and build our own Dawn shield, but that doesn't work. Instead, Owen gets scarred up by the Monitor and betrays him too by giving us the shield off of the General's javelin. Then he flies off into the sunset, never to be heard from again, popping our second last story trophy. I also happened to get the last sniper rifle I needed during that mission, so I equip it along with our new Dawn shield, and followed the Monitor into the Heart of Rage for her last story mission. Halfway through, I managed to get the 50th kill on that sniper rifle. Then I made it to the boss fight, which was pretty simple, especially with those legendary guns I got. And once I got him down to 1/4 health, he kinda just blew up. I don't know why that happened, but after a quick cutscene of us shutting his machine down, our final story trophy pops. With the story done, we hit level 16 and unlocked our third of the 4 javelins, the Heavy. I had most of the gear challenges done on the other 2 javelins, but would need to grind out some more loot to get the last few. So I swapped to the Heavy to work on his, and he was definitely my favorite of the 4. Anyway, I wanted to finish the last 4 side quest trophies now, so I started with Bryn's questline, and it's just a continuation of what we were doing before. While finishing that up, I actually found the last named location in one of the regions, popping one of the 10 location-based trophies. And then Bryn's final side quest trophy. The next questline we go after is actually from a new character who wants us to go look for her auntie that disappeared like 50 years ago. She's dead, bro.
Man, I'm dead.
Actually, it turns out that she got stuck in a portal with a bunch of other people where time didn't really pass.
On your left.
Anyway, I got 2 trophies here. One for my final autocannon kill, and then one for saving the auntie. All I had left now was the final side quest lines from both Matthias and Yarrow. One of the 3 Matthiases was attacked and robbed, and we're not letting that slide. While hunting down the perpetrator, we also happened to get 2 more of the location trophies. Then slimed the homies up to end the quest. Going back to Yarrow, this side mission isn't all that different. He gets us to hunt an outlaw, who is pretending to be a freelancer using a dead one's armor. So once again, we hunt him down, kill the op, and get our trophy. With all the quests out of the way, I entered free mode and hunted down all the remaining locations. And now that we're post-game, my gear level is a little higher, which gets us another trophy for finishing a mission with a rare javelin rating. I also happened to get lucky with the Colossus javelin, and didn't need to grind out any loot for his challenges. I also realized that the world events in free mode count as missions towards said challenges, so I went back into free mode to do those until the trophy popped. And while doing those, I picked up the grenade launcher I needed for the last weapons trophy. With the Colossus trophy in hand, it was time to move on and switch back to one of our previous javelins to get the gear we were missing. And while I was doing that, I was able to get my javelin rating up again. Then I got the gear I needed for the last interceptor challenge. Continuing the same grind, but this time as the storm javelin, I was able to nab its final gear too, and shortly after, its challenge trophy. At this point, I was still only level 23, and with the final javelin unlocking at 26, my main goal was grinding XP. And this is where I realized that along with whatever XP you earn, you also get 25% of whatever each of your teammates earn. So I just kept quick joining other people's missions to mooch XP off of them until I unlocked the Ranger Javelin. And while I was doing that, I also happened to passively hit level 3 loyalty with the first of the 3 factions. With the 4th and final Javelin unlocked, I just kept quick joining missions, both so I could work on the Javelin challenges and gear, but also hit the max level of 30 to get my gear score up. While doing this, I passively got level 3 on the other 2 factions. And eventually, my gear score was high enough to hit Masterwork class. From here, I only needed to do 2 more missions to finish off the Javelin gear challenges, so here's that trophy. And now it's time for the part everyone complains about, the Bastion collectible challenges. We need to finish every one of these challenges for our last trophy, meaning we need to find every location, which we already did, harvest 200 minerals, 200 plants, find the 10 overlooks, collect 80 notes, 80 Arcanist runes, and 125 pieces of intel. Now, the minerals and plants were done passively. I didn't have to think about them at all. I also happened to get a good amount of the collectibles during my playthrough, so making it back to free roam, I decided to get the last 4 overlooks first, then moved on to the Arcanist runes and notes, which were a slog, but at least I had about half of each of them. Throwing on some music and following a YouTube guide got me through it. But next up was the 125 pieces of intel, which is actually broken up into 5 different collectible strands, with 25 intels each. Now, I use the term collectible lightly here, because their locations aren't set, meaning they are surprisingly easy to farm. All you have to do is find an area with a couple spawn locations, and just keep grabbing the intel and flying away for it to respawn. So I did this 5 times, in 5 different areas to get them all, only taking about 15 to 20 minutes per intel strand. And with the final one grabbed, and the Bastion challenge complete, I have my 90th platinum. So that was Anthem's platinum. The guide says it takes 80 hours, but it only took me 46, and it could have been faster with better RNG. The flying felt great, and the combat was decent enough, but everything else falls so short, so it's no surprise the game is shutting down. Anyway, if you liked the video, come check out my Twitch and join us live as I make my way to 100 platinums, and don't forget to like and subscribe.